Hello, this is the Iconbuster. I just wanted to start off by saying Drawn Together is a hit or miss show, and it goes for 50% of the time. When it hits, it knocks it out of the ballpark, but when it misses, it strikes out completely. Drawn Together is an animated satire on the world of reality shows. Its main spoof is that of The Real World, the granddaddy of all reality shows. As the show went on, it would parody Survivor, The Apprentice, and the last episode would make fun of American Idol. Now, what's the story of Drawn Together? Well, let's get 8 cartoon characters from different worlds and put them in one house. Sounds interesting, right? Actually, it kinda is. So let's start off by talking about the characters. First, there's Captain Hero. He's a parody of Superman, but has none of Superman's qualities. He's basically a loudmouth, I'll have sex with anything, drink till I die frat boy. I think this character works because you have to imagine Superman getting red kryptonite shoved up his ass, and then him having it up there for several years, and while it was there, it rotted his brain away. Only then would you have Captain Hero. The second character I will talk about is Wooldor Sockbat. His look sort of reminds me of what would happen if SpongeBob SquarePants and Ren from Ren and Stimpy had a baby. He kind of puts me in mind of one of those crazy kids who talks to himself. Then one day you miss school and come back to find the whole place shot up. Sadly, this character is both a doctor and a priest and has a weird explanation for everything. Then you have Spanky Ham on the internet. An internet download cartoon. He's sort of the bully of the group and is the kind of guy who thinks farts are funny and poo is the greatest thing in the world. He's also up for a scam, and throughout the series teams up with certain characters to try and make money. Up next is Toot. Based on Betty Boop, this character comes off as a fat, depressed emo girl, and even the show will tell you she's nothing more than the same fat joke over and over again. Surprisingly, this character comes to the rescue more than once, making her as lovable as she is fat. Now it's time to go to Xander. Basically, take Link from the Legend of Zelda series and make him as gay as you possibly can. I think the biggest mistake they made with this character is they had him come out of the closet way too soon. They could have had him denying it most of the season and most of the series and had more people talk about him behind his back. Even though Xander is your stereotypic gay guy, as the season and series goes on, you find out that everyone in that house is pretty much gay. The next character we'll talk about is Foxy Love. Based on Josie and the Pussycats, your basic crime-solving singing group, she winds up being the biggest slut in the house, and before the series was over, had sex with just about every character. But sadly, as Wooldor points out in Season 2, she's the only one in the house that's not completely retarded. Up next, one of my favorite characters. Based on one of the most widely known trading card monsters, and probably my favorite, that of course is Pikachu, I could only be talking about Ling Ling. This character covers every Asian stereotype known to man. He knows martial arts and worked in a sweatshop, and he's definitely can't drive for shit. Probably one of the most funniest characters on the show, Ling Ling is everything you ever wanted in an Asian stereotype. Now, on to the antagonist of the group, Princess Clara. It's funny how a character based on all of the Disney princesses would end up being the girl that would make any evil stepmother proud. This girl is one of the overbearing is an overbearing Christian, intolerant bigot racist who loves car crashes and destruction. Seriously, she's perfect for the Westboro Baptist Church. Somehow she always causes trouble, and it usually takes Foxy Love to put her in her place. Even though Drawn Together started off as a reality show spoof, it ended up being a satire of not only the stereotypes we see on reality shows, but the satire on the characters we see in cartoons. This show has featured the Flintstones, Charlie Brown, Fat Albert, and has even had its own take on the Muppet Babies. Sadly, though, it's not all great. The show tends to try to get its laugh from gross outs and the shock value, instead of trying to be generally funny. This is the kind of show that the creators of Disaster movie would find to be the greatest show on earth. Now, the show is not even close to being that bad. It's still not as good as it could have been. Ironically, though, this show was a perfect follow-up to South Park. Now, not as good as South Park, but it was fun to watch while you waited for the Daily Show. And sadly, since it's been canceled, the shows to take its place, like Little Bush and Freak Show, can't even hold a candle to this show. And even though The Root of All Evil features Lewis Black, I'd much rather watch Drawn Together any day of the week. I give the Drawn Together show a 6 out of 10. This is the Iconbuster saying, Drawn Together, you've been busted.